Hello, this is Noreen Crone-Findlay from Crone-Findlay.com and ToddyTalksCrafts.com. Today I'm going to be doing a video tutorial on how to spool knit a very dense, firm two-color cord using a 4-peg spool knitter. And these cords make really nice trims and embellishment. There's a bit of a trick to it, so that's why I'm doing the tutorial. My website is Crone-Findlay.com, and that's where my books and patterns and PDFs and things are all available for you to purchase. ToddyTalksCrafts.com is my blog where I post all the support material for the various video tutorials that I do. I'm just going to do a little edit and start the video. So I've been spool knitting a little bit here and have got the cord about 15 inches or so spool knitted, and you can see it's a very dense and solid cord because when you do the locking stitch back and forth across the top, it pulls the stitches up and makes them very dense, and so you get a very firm, quite a thin cord when you use the bonbon yarn, which is it's a lightweight yarn. But when you use a thicker yarn, you get a thicker cord. It's great for edging. It's very firm. It's also wonderful for jewelry, and it's useful for embellishing pieces. You can do all kinds of wonderful things with it. I like it very much for edgings, and like I said, it's wonderful for bracelets and bag handles and necklaces. It's great. Okay, now just going to go over that locking stitch again. Here I'm going around the two purple posts, so I'm going to, whoops, I split my yarn, not good. Lift the lower over the upper, and now here's the locking slide one more time. Okay, you pull towards the center, and then to pull the previous stitch up, you're going to rock your cord, your thread back and forth until you you close the stitches, you lock those stitches and bring them to the center. So what I'm going to do now is show you how to cast off. You will spool knit one stitch, and then just you'll snip the end of your yarn, and I should grab some scissors and snip the end. I should have had that ready. Snip the other end. Okay, so whoops, I lifted it off. All right, so I'm going to put it back there. So you spool knit your one stitch, then you take your, I'm going to spool knit the second one here, and now take your tool, your loop lifting tool, into the stitch that you just spool knitted, and you lift the stitch off and lock it. So again, spool knit the stitch, then insert the hook, pull the yarn in through, and that takes it through the last stitch. And I'm going to need to open that previous stitch up. That I need a sharper end, and I just dropped my loop lifter. Clumsy of me. There, and so that should bring it up. Now we will lift the stitch over and pull to lock it, and lift it off, you pull it up to lock it and pull the end through, This one I'm not pleased with with that one still being open, so I'm going to pop it back onto the spool knitter, and I'm going to lift the end over and just take it through one more time to, whoops, I'll take it through the loop there. That'll close it. There we go. Then pull your cord through your spool knitter, and you now have a very dense, firm, locked cord. That's your two-color cord. You can stitch it to your edging with one color or the other, whichever one you like, and just do that straight along the edge. You can see I kept the blue this way, or you can twist your cord and stitch it on twisted so that you get a sort of a diagonal cord running along that way. And there you have it, how to make a two-color spool knitted cord using 4 pegs. So happy spool knitting, and I hope you make some wonderful cords. Bye for now. Go gently. To make a two-color cord, spool knitted cord, on a 4-peg spool knitter, you need, of course, a spool knitter. Now, these ones are from my collection. These are the style, or the size, more so than the style of spool knitter that you'll need. Plastic commercial ones are just fine, again, because they're fairly small in size. And this one is from Lion Brand. I figured I'm using Lion Brand Bonbon yarn. The bonbons come in tiny little balls. Aren't they adorable? And really lovely cotton too. So I thought, well, I'm using the Lion Brand yarn. I'll use the Lion Brand spool knitter. You also need a loop lifter. Now, the spool knitters come with a loop lifting tool, but I find usually the end, they're kind of short and the end is harsh. So what I do is I save the handles off of foam paintbrushes, pop them off, and then use them to glue loop lifters into, or crochet hooks, whatever. They make great upcycled handles. Or you can use a pen, or yeah, this was a pen. Anything that you know, any kind of dowel or anything that you can drill a hole into. I didn't need to drill a hole in this because I just pulled out the pen refill. But that's a really nice tool then to work with. Okay, so to work with your 4-peg spool knitter, it's also good to have a crochet hook just to start. And what I do is I tie a knot in the ends, and I put my crochet hook in and catch the knot and pull it down. Then I take one color and I go around one peg, around the second peg, and back to the first peg. Then I take the second color, go around the peg, and go back down to the first peg. Now, I'm going to go around the second peg again, and I'm going to lift the lower loop over the upper loop. Now, what I'm going to do is take my first color, my red, and do the same thing, just over one for the first pass. Then the red goes over the upper, and a gentle little tug down. Now I'm going to take my purple around both of my pegs and lower goes over the upper. Again, lower goes over the upper. Now, to secure to make that a nice dense stitch, you're going to pull your yarn across and then kind of nudge it back. You just kind of ease it back and forth until the loops sit right in the center, and that will make a balanced stitch. So now it's time for the red. So I take my red around both loops, and again I ease up on my, see, I go back and forth with my yarn, and that closes the loops of the stitches, because you want them fairly, you don't want to pull down on them until they are pretty even. So what if you stop and come back to your spool knitting? How do you tell which color you're going to work with next? Well, the red color sits on top, so that automatically tells me that my next color choice is going to be the purple. So you just make your 2 stitches with the purple, close them by gently easing back and forth until both stitches are in the center and fairly nicely closed. And then you don't tug hard on your lower cord, just give it a little kind of tickle almost. So there you go, back and forth between the 2 colors. I'm going to work with this a bit. Now I nudge this one back to close the other stitch and to bring them to the center, and then I just ease them a bit. I'm going to keep working a little bit and bring the spool knitting down to the very end so that you can see what the 2 color cord looks like. So I'm going to do a quick edit here and go off and spool knit for a bit, and then I'll be right back.